I kind of see, this is the thing. I think it almost feels to me, at least like my guess, is they're trying to extend it to Elimination Chamber. And part of that could work if Cody doesn't win the Rumble. Maybe whoever wins the Rumble picks Seth. And then Cody is like, oh my God, like, when am I going to get my title shot? Blah, blah, blah. Whoever doesn't win the triple threat to face Roman at Mania, which I assume is going to be LA Knight and AJ Styles. I assume Randy Orton is going to be the one that wins. Maybe those two will be like, no, I still want my chance. And then they'll be like the two in the Elimination Chamber. Cody tries to figure a way to manipulate himself into that match. And maybe they could even throw in Randy if Randy...
No, throw Solo.
Something. But I just mean, like, they could throw someone in there and, like, because to me, like, I would so much prefer that way for Cody to get to Roman than him winning the Rumble again. And I think that's partially why I like this scenario, because the idea of him winning the Rumble 2 years in a row and that's the way he gets his title shot is just kind of like, I guess it makes more sense.
It falls flat.
I think the only way that I would be more okay with it, and that's like, or okay with it at all, I guess, is if he was literally number one and fought for like an hour in the match, because then it would be like, okay, well, he didn't enter at 30 and then win like 10 minutes later. Yeah. Like if he came in at number one or number two, then it's like, okay, he battled, like he earned this, right? Like, whereas last year you could say, oh, of course we knew he was returning. It was probably obvious that he was going to return at 30. And so, of course, he's going to win. So at least this way, it's like, I think they should either have him be at 1 or 2 if he's going to win the Rumble, or don't have him win the Rumble and have him have to figure it out. Because then remember, we saw that conversation, or that like hidden little backstage moment of Cody talking to Nick Aldis, and they never addressed what that was about. So,
and one thing that WWE has been doing really well is the long play in their stories. I mean, I'm pretty sure I saw a Karrion Kross banner. We're going to talk about that and the longevity of it and the long play of it. They're doing that now because they have someone in charge who wants to do that type of thing right now.
Yeah.
So why not do that in this scenario? You know what I mean? It just makes sense.
And I think, I mean, that doesn't mean that like CM Punk has to win, because I know a lot of people will want to see Cody win, or a lot of people want to see CM Punk win. I think that somebody else could win. We could even have Drew McIntyre win, if he doesn't beat him at day one.
No.
But like, I feel like Cody winning just kind of like, I just don't know how many people are going to respond to it other than like positively, other than the people who are like, I'm a Cody Rhodes fan and I'm only a Cody Rhodes fan and I'm going to support him no matter what he does. And that's it. Like, I only pay attention to him.
Yeah.
And that's not a lot of people, like if you watch professional wrestling, you have more than one favorite. Like if you watch it religiously, you don't pick one wrestler and obsess over that one person. So I mean, I don't think that people would be mad, but I don't know that it would be as satisfying as seeing somebody else, So like, I feel if we're talking about finishing the story, how much more interesting is it to see Cody had to like, oh God, like another bump in the road is he didn't win the Rumble. So how is he going to get his shot at Roman this year? Like that makes it so much more fascinating when they have to retell the story in like 10 years, And
politicking his way to get there.
Yeah.
Because he knows he was screwed. And he knows that if he has to finish his story, then he has to do some dirty things that will, the age-old saying, careful what you wish for. Would kind of
and we already saw like, I would say that there's not mutual tension between Aldis and Roman. It's definitely Roman not liking Aldis, but because they set that up and he's already not happy about the triple threat being made, obviously Roman's going to retain at Royal Rumble. He's probably going to get help, which is going to piss off Aldis, which is then going to be like, okay, you think that you're just going to get away with this? Let's put together the Elimination Chamber, and to piss Roman off even more, he'll put Cody in it. And that is going to really piss off Roman because it's like, what are you doing? Like, why would you do that? He already had his chance, blah, blah, blah.
Mhm.
So it could even be Cody, Roman, LA Knight, AJ Styles. Oh, I'm sorry, Cody, AJ Styles, LA Knight, and Randy. That's what I meant in the Elimination Chamber.
And Roman makes 5. You need to add one more.
Or I guess, well,
and you
don't put
need to
Roman
have
in. No, you don't put Roman in the Elimination Chamber. I guess you could maybe put Jimmy and Solo in it.
So Roman's not gonna be
Not in the elimination. No, he won't be in the Elimination Chamber. He'll fight at the Rumble, and then he won't fight again until Mania.
That's ass.
I wouldn't be mad about that. I mean, just because if it's according to the story that I said.
Yeah, if it makes sense for him not to be at the Elimination Chamber, then fine. I'm for it.
Because then that would be
Actually,
his way of like trying to manipulate the system. If all this is going to try and manipulate it against Roman by being like, okay, well, you screwed Randy again by getting help at the Rumble, I'm gonna now put together an Elimination Chamber match, and whoever wins that is going to be your opponent at Mania. And Roman's way of manipulating it is by throwing Solo and Jimmy in there, because he's going to be like, oh, okay, well, then I have some numbers in there who are going to try and make sure none of these other guys win, so I don't have to face any of them. And that's the way that Cody gets thrown in. I would be fine with that, because if Roman fights at Elimination Chamber, he's not losing. So that's why I'm like, I would be fine with him skipping it, because if he's going to lose, it's going to be at Mania. It's not going to be anywhere else. So if he can skip one pay-per-view, I'm fine with that. If it's that one, if this is the scenario like that they go with,